We are nearing the Will Riley decision date. He said that he will be committing on Sunday, June 23rd. All signs point to Illinois for Will Riley, including various crystal balls. Various Illinois insiders have alluded to the fact that they feel this is a done deal. Trilly Donovan has posted an update that he is predicting Will Riley will end up in Illinois. So anyone who has any sort of information is saying Will Riley to Illinois is going to happen. We certainly think that's going to happen, barring a very last minute change. I want to start discussing like what exactly does the addition of Will Riley do to Illinois? Because if and when he does commit, we'll have a lot of conversations about what the team looks like. But something very interesting hit my timeline this morning, and I want to give credit to the Illini Inquirer podcast. Jeremy Werner and Mike LaTulip. I listen to the show pretty frequently. I think they do a great job. They really do. LaTulip is like one of the best basketball minds and speakers that I see on my timeline on a regular basis. I know Illinois fans love him, and Werner's very good as well. Here's a quote from Mike LaTulip on Will Riley.
Expectation-wise, right, if he does end up coming to Illinois, I've seen a lot of stuff kind of floating around Twitter/X. Will Riley's coming to Illinois to start. I just want to make that clear. Right, this dude isn't coming to Illinois and being like, yeah, cool, I'll be like a seventh guy and rotate in. Like, this is a guy that, as a 5-star, and I know we've seen this before with Sky, right? But as a 5-star, like at that size, at 6'8", 6'9", like, and there is kind of some availability there at that wing spot.
All right, there's the excerpt. There's more clip on Twitter. If you want to see it, go listen to the new episode of the Illini Inquirer podcast if you want the full conversation there. Highly recommend it. I think in general that should be an obvious statement. Like, highest rated recruit in Brad Underwood's history is coming to start. It should be. He mentioned Sky Clark. We love Sky Clark. Sky Clark was a disaster at Illinois because there was a lot of like, I'm the guy. There were other guys on that team who felt they were the guy, and it just didn't work. The fact that anyone involved in this is like alluding to, we've seen this before with Sky, would scare me as an Illinois fan.
Do you think, though, that's more related to reclassing?
I mean, my interpretation of what LaTulip meant here was more just like how this guy is wired. Like, this guy is coming in with I'm a starter. Like, I'm the guy. And I guess my question to you is, one, do you interpret it the same way I do? And two, do you think that's going to work?
The only way this works is that if I'm not sure where Big Ten Media Day is this year, but at Big Ten Media Day, Ty Rodgers makes a statement that he will be going for 6th man of the year in the Big Ten because he's going to have to come off the bench.
Oh, so like Ty goes full-blown unselfish teammate, good guy leader mode.
Yeah. And I think it would have to, because I think your starting lineup would have to be Bam Bam, Kasparis, Will Riley, Humrickhouse, and then probably Big T or Merez, whichever one you want to start.
Yeah, just being straight up, somebody is going to come off the bench here because
somebody is going to have to come off the bench in this fold. And I am of the belief, not a basketball coach, I'm going to put the worst player out of the starting 5 onto the bench.
Okay, I get what you're saying here. Can we go through these names though? Like, let's just go through these names. How upset would they be coming off the bench? I don't even like that, because I'm not doing this exercise to paint that Illinois already has people upset. But how much are these players expecting to start? Kylan Boswell believes through and through he's the starting point guard, and I think he's right.
Yeah.
Kasparis Jakashonis did not come over oceans to come off the bench, I don't think.
I assume that anyone who had to initiate the use of their passport to get to school is not coming to come off the bench.
They're not paying him the number they're paying him to come off the bench.
Yeah.
Will Riley's not reclassifying to come off the bench.
It sounds like an AI thing. I don't know no 2-time All-Star coming off the bench. I don't know no reclass small forward coming off the bench. I don't know no NGXT tournament winner coming off the bench. Why Kasparis?
So those three are not coming off the bench, I would say, relatively safely. From there, I think Brad's going to play a big, like whether it's Ivisic or Merez, and you could play the, well, Ivisic came overseas. Is he doing that to come off the bench? Merez, like, he's a 5-star kid. Like, is he really going to wait a year? I think one of those two is going to start. Do you agree with me there?
Well, did you mention Humriches?
Haven't mentioned Humriches yet. I'm talking in order, like, those three are starting.
Uh-huh.
And then I think we know a big is starting.
Yes.
So that leaves Ty Rodgers, who started on the greatest Illinois team we've seen in a while, and Brad loves and seems to be the best teammate culture everyday guy they've had in forever. You have that guy. You have Trey White, who there's reports right now that Trey White's been the best player at Illinois' first couple practices. So you have that guy. You have Ty Rodgers. You have Rickhouse, who everyone says is Marcus Damas 2.0. Don't sleep on him. You have Kerry Booth, who I don't think is realistic to start at this point, but turned down a starting spot at Notre Dame. So Kerry Booth came from being a starter at Notre Dame to what? Role player at Illinois? And then if Ivisic starts at the 5, you would have Merez as well at the 4, thinking he probably could start at the 4 next to a big. So you think Ty's going to get benched. You think what? Rickhouse is going to get the 5th spot?
I think so, yeah.
I think it'd be more likely Trey White gets a spot somehow, some way. And you go small with a big. Or Merez at the 4. Or shit. The most likely one here to me is Ty starts.
Okay. I was gonna say, are we putting Ty to the bench for no reason right here?
It feels to me like we're trying to do our video gaming, and it's not what the real head coach will do. Like, why, if Ty didn't come off the bench last year, why would he come off the bench on this team?
Because he's an everyday guy.
Was last year's team more talented than this year's team?
Yes.
So why did Ty Rodgers start every game on a more talented team last year if he wouldn't start this year?
Maybe more top talent last year. Maybe more depth this season.
Yeah. I mean, who was the 4th guy on Illinois last year?
Dane.
Goody or Dane, or I mean, we're missing a starter, aren't we? Who else started?
Guerrier.
Guerrier. I would put Guerrier in with a lot of guys on this team.
Will Guerrier start on this team?
Do we know for sure that Rickhouse is better than Guerrier? We hope he is, but like,
they have an international trip this year. We need some international games.
Okay, regardless, back to the point on Will Riley. Him coming in to start doesn't really concern me. And I hate the comparison to Sky Clark. Not that I hate what LaTulip said, because he's right. We've seen something similar of like a guy who knows what he is and says he's coming for a reason. Will Riley views himself as a one and done. Will Riley is partially choosing Illinois because of opportunity. Like, because he looked at this roster and he looked at Kentucky's roster and said, there's a better opportunity for me to be the featured guy at Illinois. That's what he did. I don't think he's wrong. I think it's a smart move. I think he's going to be great at Illinois. I am less concerned about him than I was with Sky, because this year he's right. Like, the issue with Sky wasn't that Sky wanted to come in and play. It's that Sky thought he was the best player on the team. Sky was not. Sky was like the 6th best player on the team. And as long as Will Riley's good at basketball, he can think he's the best player on the team and deserve 35 minutes. He just needs to be good. And I think the reality here is Will Riley is the best player on Illinois next year if he commits.
So if he does, where do you have them in Big Ten?
Higher than I did before, for sure. Like,
okay,
top 4.
Yeah, it's probably inevitable at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be concerned. I don't think you should do the Sky Clark thing with Will Riley. Even if he is like a me first guy, a me first guy can work on this team. This team needs a me first guy.
Yeah, especially a 6'8" me first guy.
A bucket. But you're right. We need Ty to be pushed to the bench pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.